I want to talk about daydreaming. I want to start with daydreaming. What I mean by daydreaming, or also some people might call it goal setting, because as you're daydreaming, you could be goal setting, but also not only goal setting, but vision casting. See, I was daydreaming earlier this week, which led to me goal setting, which then led to me vision casting. And I don't know if you ever heard the quote. It says, what the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And when I was thinking about that quote, the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve, it really got me thinking about what we're creating here with Impact Nation. What are we creating with this movement? What are we creating with this opportunity? What are we creating with this lifestyle club? And then it reminded me of something I just talked about earlier in the call, was our weekly declarations. We see these declarations every single week. And I want to repeat a couple of them, because a couple of them led to me daydreaming a little bit more, led to me having bigger goals, led to me really casting a vision, not only for myself, but for the organization. So one of the one that probably is the most famous one, or the most recognizable one, the most remembered one, is the first one, because it comes from our mission statement. We are so happy and grateful now that we have impacted thousands of families around the world by empowering them to earn financial freedom while living an abundant lifestyle. Now, for a new person, you're thinking like, Max, you guys did that already? Well, I believe we've impacted thousands of people in some way, shape, or form, but we say these declarations in present tense to speak to the subconscious mind. The other one that really resonates with me is, we are so honored and blessed to help people around the world reach their higher self through relationships and lessons provided by Impact Nation. See, we want to be that organization, that movement, that group of friends and family that when you get around, you become better. I heard a quote once: always leave people better than how you found them. So we want to be that group of individuals and group of an organization, a crew, that when people get around us, they grow. When people get around us, they get wealthier. When people get around us, they make empower moves. When people get around us, they get connected, they get plugged in. They're growing, not only as an individual, but also as an organization. Another one that resonates with me: Impact Nation is the fastest growing and most impactful movement in all of network marketing. We're not just talking about our company, we're talking about all of network marketing. Think about that real quick. Imagine becoming the biggest, the fastest growing, the most impactful movement in all of network marketing. That's a big vision. And I'm saying it in present tense because we can't become that. What the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. And then the last one that I want to talk about today was, we have created unstoppable momentum worldwide that has Impact Nation growing bigger, faster, and better every single day. Think about that real quick. Everything I just mentioned came from my daydreaming. I was thinking about the future. I was like, where are we going as an organization? Which led to goal setting. I said, you know what? I was having a conversation on Zoom yesterday. I was talking about leadership. And one of the biggest definitions of true leaders is developing more leaders. We want to develop more leaders. We want to have more stories within our organization. We want to have more people training on these weekly calls. We want to have more people training at the regionals. We want to have more people on stage. We want to have more people developing leaders amongst leaders to grow that movement that impacts thousands, to grow that community that when people get around the community, they grow, to grow that organization that's the fastest growing and most impactful in all of network marketing, to grow that organization that's in multiple countries around the world, that we're in every continent. Imagine that, when we can say, you know what? We have an organization in every single continent, including Antarctica. That'll be pretty crazy, right? But what does that really come down to? What it really comes down to deep down inside is belief. You have to believe. What I started with today, I said to you guys, what the mind can conceive, what you can create with your mind, and then believe it can achieve. So what do you need belief in? Maybe you heard me say this before, but I believe you need 5 core beliefs. One, you need to believe in the industry of network marketing. You need to know that network marketing works. In case you're new, let me give you a simple breakdown of what network marketing is. Most companies spend millions, in some cases, hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing, email campaign, flyers, commercials, Super Bowl ads, anything you think about, newspaper ads, direct mailers, all this money to promote a product or service. What network marketing does is simply says, you know what? Instead of spending those millions and millions of dollars on all these different methods, let's focus on one, which is word of mouth marketing, and pay people to promote our stuff. So our club, our lifestyle community has us promote. We do the word of mouth marketing, and because of our influence, because of our marketing, because of our promotion, we get paid. So does the industry work? Yeah, it does. There's people winning big at this today. There's people that are living life to the fullest because of this. Next, after industry, you have to believe in the company. See, I believe we are part of what's called a global lifestyle community. We are creating a global wealthy community where we're about wealth and health. See, some people think the word wealth is just like financially, like money-wise. No, I'm talking about wealthy in relationships, wealthy in community, wealthy in health, wealthy in money as well, but also wealthy in experiences, in travel, in living life to the fullest. I believe we are what I call a lifestyle conglomerate. We have many different factors, and guess what? There's more coming. We're getting bigger. So we got the industry, we got the company, but then you also have to believe in products and services. I just told you, we're getting bigger, we're getting better, we're going to have more. So products and service, check. The next thing, the fourth thing you need to believe in is the system and the leadership. Do you believe in Impact Nation? Do you believe in these weekly calls? Do you believe in a system that we've created as an organization? Are you plugged in? Are you listening to this on repeat? Do you utilize the system? Do you follow up with your leaders on the call? Are you utilizing the team and the system to its advantage? And then the last one, which is the most important one, does anyone want to take a guess at what the final and last one is? I want to see who's paying attention. Does anyone want to take a guess at what the last one is? So industry, company, product and services, system and leadership. And the last one is tap yourself and say me. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. So how do we do that? Like we gotta think about mindset. And the reason I want to talk about this today, to really talk about mindset today, is how to build that belief in yourself, is because I said this before in another call when we were talking about the ATM system. By the way, if you haven't heard about our ATM system, comment ATM, we'll get you some training on that. It's pretty cool. But before we become bigger, we must become better. I'm gonna repeat that. Before we become bigger, we must become better. In order for things to change, you have to change. In order for things to get better, you have to get better. But where does it start? It starts right here in your mind. See, I heard this the other day, and I usually say this. This is what I usually say. Many times people want the outside to change, but they're not willing to change on the inside, meaning their mindset. But you know what's even more profound is that your outside environment is a reflection of your inside environment. What kind of attitude are you bringing to your community? What kind of attitude are you bringing to the team? What kind of attitude are you bringing to the opportunity? What kind of attitude are you bringing to your relationship? What kind of attitude are you bringing to whatever you do in life? See, your attitude determines your altitude. I want to be clear on that, because if it's a reflection, if my outside is a reflection of my inside, how am I inside? Am I negative? And that's why I'm receiving all this negativity? Or am I positive? Am I outgoing? Am I happy? And because I'm happy and positive, I receive that. It's a reflection. For some, that's all you need to hear in this call. You're good. And I want to remind, I'm going to say it one more time. Your outside is a reflection of your inside. And maybe that's all you need to say, you know what? I do need a mindset shift. See, where your mind sits determines where your mind sets. Your mindset is what you're sitting on. What are your thoughts? And the first thing I want to talk about today, put it number one, like the first thing Max wanted to really focus on. Who are you listening to? I want to ask you that question and pause and reflect yourself. Who are you listening to? I'm going to take a quick drink of water. I want you to think about that. Who are you listening to? Are you listening to your family, teachers, maybe an author of a book, maybe a guru, a mentor, a colleague, a friend? What are they saying to you? Are they speaking life into you? Or are they bringing you down? Do they see your worth? Do they support your business? Are they about growth? I heard a quote once long ago in the beginning of my network marketing career. Be careful whose opinion you buy into. Because if you value someone's opinion, you might end up living their lifestyle. So what I would encourage you to do is evaluate, who are you talking to? Who are you listening to? What are they saying to you? See, it's really important to learn from the people that have what you want. When I first started my network marketing career, I had no network marketing experience. The gentleman that mentored me, he had business experience, and he's already been doing the opportunity we were a part of for over almost a year, and he already had some success. So in that aspect of life, he had what I wanted. He had experience with the business, so I wanted to follow him. But as I said earlier, we want to be that organization that helps people grow overall. See, you might be on this call and your desire to win at this, your desire, your why, your big why might have nothing to do with the business, but it might have something to do with other aspects of life. Maybe this call is simply to me to remind you and encourage you to listen to the people that have what you want in the fields that you want. See, if you've checked out my planner, I created this planner called Maximize Your Life Planner. And inside that planner, I have a life assessment. So it covers an assessment on life. And I cover the 7 F's. These are the 7 components of life, which I believe everyone should be focused on or looking into. F number 1 is faith. You have to believe in a higher power. You have to have faith in something bigger than you. I myself, I believe in God. My Savior is Jesus Christ. That's what I believe in, right? The next F is family. Do you keep your and by the way, I'm doing this in order. Just in case you're wondering, you're writing these down. All right, faith is first, family second. How close are you to your family? Are you showing up as a good husband, as a good wife, as a good sibling? The next F is your field. Your field, your business or your career. It doesn't have to just be what we do here. Are you showing up the way you need to show up in your career, in your job? Are you showing up for this business, for this opportunity? Are you on these calls every single Tuesday? Are you listening to Inner Circle? Are you going to the events, the regionals, the Super Saturdays, the national events? Are you in your field? How are your finances? Number 4 is finances. And I hope you're writing these down. By the way, if you're writing these down, give me number 4, because you should have 4 already. Faith, family, field, your career, finances. Where's your money at? I was having a conversation with accountant today. Are you investing properly? Are you tithing? Fitness, number 5. Are you working out? Are you staying in shape? Overall, we want to develop people. Remember, if we want to be that organization that's growing fast, that's impacting the world, shouldn't we be the people that people look up to, that we are role models, that people are saying, you know what? Wow. He got the faith going on, got the family going on, got his field going on, got the finances going on, got fitness going on, and the other one is friends. Some people are family, some people are friends. How are your friendships? Are you networking? Are you getting to know people? Are you making new friends? Are you expanding your network? I've heard this multiple times. It's a lot of times it's not about it's not about what you know, it's about who you know. Networking can get you in rooms and in positions that degrees can't. So are you networking, making new friends? And the last F, which I think everyone loves, and she already commented in the chat, look, she's already quick with it. The last F is fun. Fun. Are you having fun? I love my wife. She's my fun. Like if I'm lacking fun, she comes in and makes it happen. The other day, last week, I was like zoned in. I was reading. I had all these books. I was taking notes. I was studying. She goes, "We got a day date," and I'm like, "What?" She goes, "Yeah, we got a day date. We're going out. We're gonna go to the movies during the day." And we were the only ones in the movie theater. We like, it felt like we were VIP. Like we bought out the whole. Subconsciously, I told myself that we were VIP and we bought out the whole movie theater. We had it to ourselves. So it was a private screening, and it made me feel special. Now, speaking of the 7 F's, faith, family, field, finances, fitness, friends. Who's your mentor? Do you have a mentor in faith? Do you have a mentor in family? Maybe you have like for me, I love just having conversations with my mom. She's funny, she's witty, she reminds me of things, you know? Also, when I think family, I think about who do I know has been married for over 20 years, 30 years, 50. I want to create an amazing family with my wife. How do we make our marriage work? In my career field, who's my mentor? Who's helping me become a better network marketer? Who's helping me build teams? Who's helping me market? Who's giving me ideas? Who's teaching me how to be a better leader in this field? Finances. Do I have anyone that counsels me with my investments, with how I move my money, where my money should be? Fitness. Did I hire a personal trainer? You know, I know a lot of you guys use our Impact personal trainer, right? But who do we have? Friends. Do you have friends of yours that are just great at networking, that they can teach you how to network better? And then we all have to have one, at least one. Who's that person that, you know what? When you know, sometimes you just know that I've been too busy. I'm stressed. I'm caught up with all this stuff. I need to get out and have some fun. And you just call that person, you go hang out with that person. You might not see it as a mentorship, but you need that in your corner, guys. And I wanted to talk about this because a lot of times we don't talk about this. You got to really evaluate each of those people. And some of you might not call them mentors. You may call them distractions, or what's the word I want to use? They're just not the right person for you. So my question to you is, in the relationships that you have, the people around you, how has your life changed because of those people? What have they taught you? Do you need to find new mentors? Do you need to find new people? And then more importantly, I want to bring this up because I want you to think about, what if we are that organization that develops people so much with these Tuesday night calls? We're training people, we're helping people become better. And by helping people become better, we create an environment of collaboration and abundance. So much that we as Impact Nation, I'll give you an example. If I'm talking to someone about finances and moving money, and I'm in Tampa and I'm talking to a new Impact agent in Tampa, I might mention Melissa as a realtor because I believe that real estate is a wise investment. If I'm talking to someone about taxes and we have someone on our team that does taxes, I want to create that environment, that community of collaboration and abundance. If I'm talking to Pedro, I'm like, hey, Pedro, we got this money. You have family in Santo Domingo, in the capital of DR. You think we can make some moves out there with some land or something? Is creating that environment within our organization. And also, I want to challenge you with this. So I want to poke some people today. And I hope I'm getting you to think bigger. My goal as a leader is to influence you to believe sooner. I want you to believe sooner in yourself. Like, truly, I wish some of you already have confidence and believe in yourself. But there's some of you that I wish you could see yourself as I see you. So as a leader, I want to use my influence to help you believe much sooner, move much faster. We have a limited time on this earth. And to think bigger. So when you leave this call today, I'm not done. I'm not wrapping up. I'm going to talk a little bit more about mindset, but one thing I want to give you. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is like, who are you listening to? But with that said, I want you to put like a little homework assignment. Who are 3 individuals that come to mind? I just want 3. You don't have to tell me now. Write it down that you say, you know what? I want to reach out to that person to see if they'll mentor me, to see if they'll take me underneath their wing. I can learn from that person. You ever heard this word, apprenticeship? Back in the day, that's how people got jobs. You would be an apprentice to someone first, and if you did good as an apprentice, you then got the job. It's another form of mentorship. That is the key to becoming and staying successful. It's a cheat code. And I don't know, in school, they say like if you copy from someone, it's cheating. No. If you copy the right cat, it's okay to be a copycat, right? You got to copy the right person. And with the right mentorship, you're skipping levels. You're skipping heartaches. I started off this call where I said to myself, you guys, we're going to teach you everything we did right so you can do more of it. We're going to teach you everything we did wrong so you can avoid it. So my question to you is, who can you get around? Who can you get around? Think about that. Who can I get around? See, the difference between where you are right now, the difference between where you are and where you want to be is exactly the same as what you know and what you don't know. Just in case it went over someone's else, I'll repeat that. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the same exact difference between what you know and what you don't know. What you don't know yet. Because you can learn. The key is awareness. So you have to say to yourself, to get away from ignorance is the absence of truth. You don't know what you don't know. You just don't know. You didn't know that you didn't know. And to get away from that, the key to get away from that is awareness. You need to say, you know what? Max is right. I haven't sought mentorship. I haven't gotten around the right people. I haven't been learning. I haven't been open-minded. What can I do different? On the other side of what you don't know is everything you desire. I'm here to tell you that right now. On the opposite side of what you don't know is everything you desire. So how do you learn more? You have to be teachable and you have to be coachable. But the only way to become teachable and coachable is to have humility. You have to be humble. You have to humble yourself. Because even if you heard my story, when I first started, I wasn't humble. I thought I was the man. I was like, I've done business before. Network marketing, same thing as marketing. I just do it my way. I didn't have the insight and I didn't have the humility. And it took for me to get checked and not to get the results I wanted. I became aware. I was like, oh, hold up. I just got 4 no's. It shouldn't be this hard. I guess I don't know what I don't know. And then after you become aware of something, you got to decide. You have to say, you know what? I decide to change. Not choose. Choose is a word that depicts options. When you say you choose something, that means you have other options. In case that doesn't work, I'll choose this, but if that doesn't work, I'll choose something else. Don't just choose to win. Don't just choose to be coachable and teachable. Decide. Decide means to cut off from anything else. Decide. After you decide, you have to act. You have to take action. Not just action, but then you got to repeat over time. You got to continue over and over and over and over. Yes, Pedro, marry the decision. It's like marriage. Marriage is a decision. Like, Karen stuck with me. That's it. She's mine. Like, that's it. We're married. And then the last thing I said was repeat. You got to repeat, 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 repeat. So one of the easiest ways I want to encourage everyone on this call to repeat is audios and books. Audios and books. Repeat audios. This training right here. When was the last time you took one of our Impact Nation recordings from YouTube and listened to it for a whole week straight? Because you know what happens with the mind? I'm going to show you something real quick. Pay attention. Pay attention right now. Because I'm going to teach you something that's going to make sense. It's going to want you to repeat learning. Ready? Listen. When I'm talking about something and I drop something that's really big, like I'm like, boom, I get you like a lesson that you go, whoa, that was good. Or, oh, let me write that down. The moment you get an aha moment, your mind stops focusing on what I'm saying, and then you start writing down and you miss the next 10 seconds. And because you miss the next 10 seconds, you miss what I just said. So when you go back and watch the recording, you're like, you said that on Tuesday? I didn't hear that last Tuesday. Wow. You know how many times I've heard recordings or audios for like the 4th or 5th time, and I'm like, oh, that was pretty cool. I remember even reading. I remember the other day I was reading Genesis over. I started reading the Bible over, and it was like last year. It was last year, to be honest. But I had an aha moment because I saw in I'm probably going to go on a tangent, but I think it's a good tangent. Is I noticed, I was like, wait a minute. In the garden, Adam and Eve had access to the tree of life. That means Adam and Eve were immortal. They can live forever. As long as it didn't go to the tree of good and evil. And I was like, hold up. He had everything in his hand, and he gave up all that abundance for lack. That was why, because I read it over and over and over again, and I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it before. So when you go back and read things over, when you go back and listen to things over, you're going to hear things that you didn't hear before. So don't just read it once. See, another one. This is a big one. Write this one down. Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee said, don't fear the man that knows 1,000 kicks. Fear the man that practiced the same kick 1,000 times. Why? Because he's more lethal at it. He practiced the same exact kick 1,000 times. He knows what he's talking about. So don't just tell me, a lot of people go into, what's it called? Self-development. Don't talk to me about self-development if all your books are on the shelf and you're talking about shelf development? Because you're like, oh yeah, I got that book, but have you read it? And how many times have you read it? Now, if you really want to absorb a book, don't just repeat it. Don't just read it. Don't just listen to it. Take notes. Take notes on what you're learning. You want to take it a step further? Teach what you're learning. Learn, practice, teach. You want to get really uncomfortable? Go live. Maybe you're not there yet. Okay. Maybe you have a significant other, a coworker, someone you eat lunch with every day at work. Hey, I just read this book. I'm learning some things. My mentor told me that in order for me to learn better, I need to teach it. Do you mind if I tell you a little bit, like a quick overview or review of the chapter I read last night? Once again, if you're open to it, I will do that live on Facebook so you can get people to see who you are, see your growth. The other way that you can learn, because this is about growth, this is about mindset, is live events. Get around the thinking that outthinks you. Proximity is power. Think about that real quick. I'll give you an example. I always say to myself, I want to become a leader amongst leaders. So one thing that I do as a leader is I listen to interviews of top network marketers around the world. And I listen to how they speak. I listen to how they train to see if there's something that I can do a little bit differently, because especially if they're making multiple millions of dollars, if they have multiple thousands of people on the team, I can learn something from that. I'm always a student. I'm humble. All right. I don't think I'm the man. There's always room for growth. I heard this audio the other day, and it just shifted the words of something I already do. And I said, wow, that was good. And I wrote it down. I know some of you guys like, what did you write down, right? You want to know what I wrote down? I don't even have my journal here. My journal is in the other room, but let me see if I remember. Let's see how good my memory is. So it was about, do you keep your income options open? That's a line I use already. I already use that line. So when I'm speaking to someone cold market and I want to recruit them, I may say something like, hey, excuse me, I was curious. Do you keep your income options open? But he continued the line saying, do you keep your income options open if the money is right? Is the money is right? Or if it's, yeah, something. It was like, do you keep your income options open if the money is right? So it gives you an idea. Oh, there it is. I got an amazing wife. She hooks me up. Is this it? Yeah. All right. Do you keep your income options open to side projects if the money is exciting enough? See, I wrote this down last night. Why? Because I am coachable. I am teachable. I said, you know what? I know how to prospect cold market. I've done it multiple times. I signed up a lot of people cold market. But what if there's just a little tweak I can do to get even better? I'm always looking to grow. So once again, do you keep your income options open to side projects if the money is exciting enough? I was like, yes. Another reason why I say go to big events, it builds a belief and it creates duplication. If you want to be a leader in this organization, if you want to be a leader in this industry, if you want to be a leader amongst leaders, a creator of leaders, you have to understand that leadership is influence. If you want to be a big time leader, A, you have to have your own, you have to have a big belief, but then two, you have to create duplication. And leadership is more about what you do than what you say. People do what you do, not just what you say. So you got to be saying what to do, but also you got to back it up and go do it. So if I know that training can build people's belief, and sometimes people need to hear stuff not just from Max, they need to hear from someone else. So if I can get you to go to an event to change your life, why wouldn't I push it? Why wouldn't I promote it? By the way, if going to a training has impacted your life in a positive way, in a positive way. You can be more mindset, more growth, making friendships, creating memories, experiences in any positive way. Type in me in the chat. Type in me in the chat if it's helped you in that way. And here's the thing, guys. If you're coachable, teachable, attend events, listen to audios, read books, the sky's the limit. Like you can earn so much more. You can do so much more. Your dreams can truly become a reality. And some people might say, but Max, those events, they just want to brainwash you. Can I be honest? Some of y'all need brainwashing. Think about it real quick. How many years have we been programmed to focus on lack or be financially challenged or have limited thinking, self-worth? How many years have we been programmed? You think that's going to happen overnight? No, you need to go to event after event after event because you're truly, I'm going to be real, you're getting brainwashed, but not in the way that people think of brainwash. I'm talking about washing it clean. Not only washing it clean, but make it even brighter. We're helping you shine. How do you reprogram the mind? Repetition. Repetition. Event after event. Audio after audio. Book after book. Mentorship after mentorship. You know what's one of my favorite mentorship ways, and if you have an opportunity to do this, is through windshield time. Like if you have an opportunity to get with a mentor, just like the other day, Pedro and Jasenia were visiting us in Tampa, and Pedro and I went to a Bible study together, a success principles and Bible study, and we were just driving. And it was a great conversation Pedro and I had, and it had windshield time. And it gave me an opportunity to pour into him and give him some insight that I've been learning and helping him further his development as a leader. That's one of the best places to do it. Now, I want to close with this. I want to teach you something real quick. This is probably the most important thing of tonight's training. So get ready to write some stuff down. So idea number one was, who are you listening to? Idea number two is, I want to know, what is your teachability index? My what? Your teachability index. The teachability index comes down to two variables. Listen to me closely. And these variables will help me and help yourself figure out and find out how teachable are you? How coachable are you? Variable number one, what is your willingness to learn? Ask yourself that question. What is your willingness to learn? Rate yourself from 1 to 10. All right? From 1 being very, very little interested, like you're not really interested in learning, to 10 being extremely interested in learning. I want to grow. I want to become better. I want to learn. I'm reading. I'm writing. I'm listening to audios. I'm going to events. I'm eager to learn. That's 10. So what is the number? What's your willingness to learn from 1 to 10? If you want to participate right now in the chat, if you already know what the number is and you want to type it in the chat, go ahead. What is your willingness to learn? How eager are you to learn? That's the first one. Now, my question with that is, what are you willing to invest in order for your dreams to become a reality? What are you willing to give up to learn the lessons required to acquire your life's dreams? Like, what are you willing to give up? What are you willing to invest? Are you willing to let go of some stuff? Because that can also play a role in how eager you are to learn. Because if you're not willing to invest in knowledge or willing to give up some time doing something else that you can read a book, there's times I said to myself, I'm going to read 10 pages. And it's like 10 o'clock at night, I haven't read my 10 pages. I'm like, man, I'm exhausted, but I got to read my 10 pages. What are you willing to do to make your dreams come true? So The first one is willingness to learn. Here's the second one. I see some people, they wrote 9 in the chat, 8 in the chat, 9 in the chat. Cool. That's your willingness to learn. Now, the second variable, write this one down. Willingness, this is the big one. Willingness to accept change. Ooh. I said it earlier. In order for things to change, you got to change. What is your willingness to accept change? One is very little. Like, I am not interested in changing. 10 is like, I'm down to change. Are you willing to change the way you think about things? Are you willing to change the way you feel about things? There's two different things there. Are you willing to change how you think about things and how you feel about things? See, when I joined, I told you a story earlier, my willingness to learn was high, was really high. It was like, I wanted to learn network markets. I joined, I wanted to make my money back. I was down to learn. Tell me what to do. My willingness to change was low. I didn't want to listen to my mentor. I didn't want to do it his way. I wanted to figure it out my own way. So check this out. If my willingness to change is 10, let's just say, I'll go 9. Let's say it's 9. But my willingness to change was 1. 1 times 9 is 9 out of 100. Am I really going to get close to my goals? The closer you get to the number of 100, that means you're willing to learn and you're willing to change. When those two get high, magic happens. You can pretty much create anything you want because you're willing to learn how to do it and you're willing to go get it done and change the way you do things, the way you think, the way you feel. This right here, if you grasp what I'm saying right now, I want to end with this because if you grasp this, game over. Remember, in order for things to change, you have to change. Do you have the willpower to give up the things in return to learn how to do new things? Answer this question in the chat. Because there's people like this. Now, and if you think I'm throwing a shot at you, that's cool. You can think that. Because if the shoe fits, wear it. But this is not directed to anyone in particular. But I know some people like this. Their willingness to learn is 8, 9, 10. They're listening to every audio. They're going to every single event. They're telling me they're reading the books. They're tuning into the recordings. They're writing their declarations. They're tuned into their faith. They're all about their family. They're in their field learning, right? Their willingness to learn. They're plugged into all the inner circle, all that good stuff. But their willingness to change is not 1. It's 0. They're like, nah, I'm going to do it my way. Nothing's going to change over here. I'll figure it out my way. Yeah, I got it. No worries. Let me see if you're good at math. If your willingness to learn is 10, but your willingness to change is 0, like you're not willing to change at all. Like, I'm going to do it my way. What's 10 times 0? You ain't going nowhere. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to humble myself in the beginning and say, you know what? I obviously don't know what I'm doing. My willingness to change was low. It was like 1, 2, 3. I had to increase that and say, you know what? This mentor of mine, he drove to Tampa. He's willing to teach me some stuff. Okay, you know what? I am going to put him on the phone on a 3-way call. You know what? I am going to open up and do my 3-step setup. You know what? I am going to plug into webinars, even though I don't, and it's funny because some of y'all, you start off with a high willingness to change. So I'll give you an example. Some of you had success by being open to change, but then you showed someone else, and for whatever reason, that person didn't turn out like the first person, and because it didn't turn out, oh, that must not work. You already signed up someone using that technique. just because one person said no, you're going to change up the game and say, nah? What steps can you take right now, to open yourself up to further learning? Just think about that real quick. What do you need to give up? Are you spending too much time on TV? Maybe you drive to work. What are you listening to while you drive to work? What if you say, you know what, for the next 21 days, for the next 30 days, for the next 90 days, I'm only going to listen to personal development in my car. In order to raise your teachability index, remember, it comes down to two things: your willingness to learn and your willingness to change. In order to raise that, you need to attend events. You need to read books. You need to seek mentorship. You need to become an apprentice. Become aware. Leave ignorance alone. Ignorance is the absence of truth. Wisdom is the application of truth. You have to take what you learn and be aware. So you know what? Make a decision today. You know what? I want to get in the right mindset so I can help Impact Nation become the biggest movement in the world. I know this movement is going to continue to grow. And by me becoming a better person, I can do more things. And by doing more, we can have a greater impact on this world. And when you make that decision, and have to remember, become aware, make a decision, act upon a decision, and repeat. Listen over and over and over again. Listen to this audio again. Listen to that audio book again. Read that book again. And at the end of the day, introduce yourself to individuals that have what you want. Introduce yourself to individuals that have what you want. How do you do that? Attend the next event. Next Saturday, not this Saturday. Next Saturday is the regional. If you're registered and already going to the regional, give me an R in the chat. If you are going to the regional, have a willingness to learn at a 10. Have a willingness to accept change at a 10 or close to it. But also be willing to go out there and meet new people. Introduce yourself. Get uncomfortable. Hey, I saw you speak on stage. You shared your testimonial. Do you mind if I ask you a couple questions? That doesn't hurt anyone. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to leave you once again with our declaration. We will impact thousands of families around the world by empowering them to earn financial freedom while living an abundant lifestyle. And the only way we're going to do that is if we come together as a community, be mindful of who and what we're listening to, be willing to increase our index, be willing to learn more, and be willing to change and become better. Thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate everyone on this webinar. Hope everyone has a phenomenal week. Share this with someone. Who do you know that needs to hear this message? Share with them. Send them the recording. Tag them on the group. And let's go impact this world. Thank you so much for your time. God bless. Take care. See you guys soon. Peace out.